Hello, Animal Messages with Julie. I'm an animal communicator. I feel what the animals feel. I'm an empath. I hear what they hear, and then we have a conversation. I also it all know for the animals. Okay, so yeah, I'm in a different. Okay. You gonna join the party? He's a cat. I'll show you that picture soon. So yeah, I've been it's a holiday weekend, so coming up. So I've been watching people's animals. So and learning. Here is what the brindle is, 12 years old, and the white ginger is males. Okay, we're going to talk about dance or bromance. The maid, okay. However, also in this house with me are two 10-year-old cats who are brothers. So it's 4 males.
Okay.
Yep, and the ginger is Phineas, and the gray is Elliot. Yep. Okay, so we're learning a lot this week. All right. So when I first got here, the white dog, the youngest, the 2-year-old, was how can I put it? Well, Charlie, the 12-year-old, said he's a pain in the ass, and I said, well, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. We got a week. We'll work on that. And as he walked away from me, now the brindle, the 12, he said, and he always will be. Just like he's a pain in the ass. And I'm trying to tell him, oh, well, we have time to work on that, work on his behaviors. And he's like, it's a pain in the ass, and he always will be. In other words, like, I don't believe there's anything you can do, lady. And the white dog does, like, jumps up on you, chews on whatever he can get his hands on. Yes, he life is interesting. Goes after the cats. Yes. So there's big gates that go into the kitchen, big dog gates with little bitty cat doors, that can be locked also, can be closed. So the cats normally are in the kitchen laundry area, and the dogs are rarely let in there. So the cats have their safe area. So we spent, when I first got here, the white dog and I spent like an hour just talking, sitting on the floor and just talking about, okay, you got to honor the requirements of your elders in the pack. Because, when another animal would come and want to rub on me and say hello to me, in would come the white dog in between, just like a bat out of hell, just right in between. And it's like, hey, you got to respect their requirement to be touched or to greet, or, you just, right, they're your elders. And his objections were, number one, even the cats. And I'm noticing that Patrick has frozen. So if you're seeing that on the playback, there he's back. It was just blurry frozen. That sounded like a robot. Did I freeze too?
Froze too.
Oh, okay. Pull the 5G from the city. Pull, pull, pull. We're up here. Okay. Yeah. So, well, it's however it's to be. That's how it's to be. And I am recording because sometimes I forget to hit that button. Okay. So the white dog and I, we talked for an hour about this, about honoring the requirements of his elders. Dog is fed in it through himself because he has what's called food aggression, but it's the behavior of like running in between me and another dog, me and another cat. If there's a cat and food, a dog and food, he interferes with that. I mean, it's boom. So and he is a sweetie. He's a sweetie, but there's a manners issue there, right? And he's only 2. I mean, no, he's not a puppy, but so we talked for a long time.
Sit down.
And his objection was the cats, even the cats. And I said, yes, they're part of your pack and they're your elders. Okay. So, and the other objection was, it's hard because my point of view is that dogs and cats are similar to humans in that there could be a cat that's on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. There are animals that have PTSD, that have complex PTSD. They mimic a lot of that same, I'm just going to use the word stuff, because I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical professional, but I think you get what I'm saying. They have a lot of the same behavior issues, and like to stop their behavior, they have to stop their own behavior before it gets too far, right? Just like a human. However, if you've
Stop it.
for one reason or another, it can be difficult for a human, whether it's ADHD, whatever it's been labeled as, it can just be difficult to stop their own behavior or to stay focused, whatever it is. So to fit in with the pack. So the animals have the same issue to fit in with the pack. I run across the ones that have, like, it's so difficult to control their own, whether it's ADHD or whatever we want to call it. So this dog was like, oh, it's just too hard. It's too hard. It's like, oh, it's too hard to honor my elders' requirements because it requires me to control my own behavior. And controlling my behavior is really, really, really hard because animals, they're not naughty to be naughty frequently. That's not the case. They're not super devious. They just are trying to control their own behavior, much like a little child. They're just like having trouble controlling their behavior. So that's what I said. We talked an hour, so we talked around this, and that's what I do is I basically I'm a counselor for the animals. I'm the child psychologist for the animal, but it's the animal psychologist. And we got to it. I'm like, okay, you are so strong, because he is strong. You are so fast when you run. He's really fast, and you're smart. Like you leave a piece of paper this big out and he'll wait until, your back's turned, boom, he's got it. He swallowed it, he's smart. He's healthy. I said, you're so smart. You're so healthy. And I said, the strong jobs get the tough. The strong dogs get the tough jobs. I said, you're given a tough job. Your job is to honor your elders' requirements. And yes, it's tough for you. And you're given the tough jobs. And you can do it. And because up to this point, it's been like either it swings one way, we're like, oh, he's so precious, and swings the other way that his name is rhymed with terror. He's called demon. He's gotten all kinds of nicknames because of his behavior, not being able to control his behavior, and it causes havoc in the household, right? And he hears that too, just like a human. They hear it. And so he's like, okay. And then some of the times he's been honoring the other animals' requirements to be touched. And if I leave the house and come back, they all want to greet. And sometimes he hasn't. And at that point, I'll say, now, is that behavior that's honoring of your elders? And he's like, oh, no. Okay. Because they forget too, just like humans. It's like this is a new behavior to honor your elders' requirements, to eat, to sleep, to touch, all of that, rather than just your own instinct running in and taking over and getting what you want. Um, and even we were sitting outside and I was teasing him and he told me to go to hell. I was like, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hug you. And he's like, go to hell. And I'm like, okay, now
Oh, darling.
is that okay? Yeah, that's not nice. I'm like,
No.
that's not something nice to say. And of course, he's heard it in his human world. That's where they learn it from.
No.
And I'm like, that's not a nice thing to say. I'm like, someone that's called precious doesn't say things like that. And he goes, oh, I learn now. I learn now. Because it's another thing. He wants to be called, okay, precious. That is not his name. He's got a male name, right? And I'm like, what, he doesn't, right? And he's like, yeah, they yell it a lot. It gets yelled, yeah, because he's knocked down the gates. He's eaten stuff he's not supposed to eat and thrown that up on the carpet. He's, the list goes on. Like every 12 hours there was something, and his people are like, that's how he got the nickname. The terrible or something, the terror. So he's like, yeah, I don't like it. At first he said he didn't care that, the other dog calls him a pain in the ass. The people say he's a terror. He's like, I don't care. I says, well, the way you say that says you might care. Because he didn't have no response. He was just like, I don't care. Yeah, it's like a kid being called names in school and the kid says, well, I don't care. But, there's a little bit of caring, So I said, well, what would you like to be called, Precious? And I ended it with Precious. What would you like to be called, Precious? And he said, Precious. Oh, I like that. That's a good name. That's pretty. I like that one. So now I've been calling him Precious. And actually, I got to sleep on half the bed last night instead of 1/8, because he's been I don't know if it broke up, but he's been not I've been sleeping on 1/8 of this full bed because he's been allowed to sleep on the whole thing. And then when I came, I got 1/8, and I'd be like, oh my God. So I got half the bed. Like we're cooperating now, and I haven't seen any food aggression, haven't seen, like he told me when I teased him to go to hell. But other than that, and he lets the other dog greet me. He hasn't chased a cat, but just as I'm saying this, it could happen. Well, he's not allowed in this kitchen. I've got the gate locked right now. But, just as I'm doing this Zoom, which will end up on YouTube, he could be gnawing on something, gnawing on the furniture or whatever. Oh. The dogs and kids, they make you liars. They do make you liars. But I really think like changing that name, how I address them, he's just in a different mindset, and he is learning what is appropriate, and then being at least verbally rewarded when he controls his behavior and allows the honoring of his elders. So that's how we got this topic of today, which is the May-December pack. Many people do this. Patrick's got 2 dogs that are within 1.5 years of each other. Okay. However, a lot of people, their dog gets to be 8, 9, 10 years old. And if it's a bigger dog like Patrick's are Labradoodles, they go, it starts, things start to wind down as you get closer to 10 for the bigger dogs, your Labradors, your poodles, right? Your golden retrievers. So then people think about, oh, let's get a puppy or let's get another one. So there's one here when so-and-so passes, right? So you do that, whether you go to the shelter, whether you go to the breeder, whatever, whether it's a 1-year-old you adopt, whether it's a puppy, but you have a May, December pack. And your 12-year-old, the bones hurt. You can like feel it in their back, because their back will get stiff. Like these cats that are 10, their backs are stiff. The bones feel different. The ligaments feel different. So you have an elderly animal with an animal that's jumping all over the place and is still learning to be a pack member. So you have a May, December pack. And in that case, you need me or someone like me to talk the younger one usually through it and explain. The older one already knows that one's young and they're a pain in the ass, and that's all I know. But what I did is I ran body processes on the older one for his joints and boosted his immunity and did some massage on him. And then, as we know, with the younger one, we're doing behavior modification with the younger one. So if you're watching this video at any point in time, it doesn't have to be me, but somebody like me that is the bridge between the human world and the animal world that can talk to your May December pack and explain that he does have the job of honoring the elders' requirements. And the elders' requirements may be different than yours. Because here's the thing, when they're born in a litter and they're, out in the wild, there's all different ages already out there that they're working with. Extended packs and extended packs, coyotes or foxes or wolves. So they learn from the pack, and the pack is usually more than 2. But in our homes, it's 2, right? Rarely is there a home, unless it's a toy breed, rarely is there a home with like 4 or 5 dogs in it. So they don't have the whole pack to learn from. To tell them, they don't have the 5-year-old to smack them upside the head and go, listen, you honor what Charlie wants. Charlie's bones hurt him. Get off him, son of a bitch. And then the white dog can be like, oh, okay, I learn, because they do learn. And then he's like, you have to learn to control your behavior. Charlie hurts, the elder hurts. Oh, okay. Just like our families, somebody you need an aunt or an uncle sometimes to tell you, like, hey, be nice to your parents. They're having a rough time, or whatever, when you're 15 or when you're 20, right? So it's similar in a pack, but they don't have that big of a pack. They just have the old guy. And the old guy is like, you're a pain in the ass, get the fuck out of here. Basically. That's what Charlie doesn't use the F word, but he did use the pain in the ass word. Anyway, and the cats are like, they use the hate word. They were like, I hate him. The cats, I hate him. Right. Well, yeah, he nips at their fur. He grabs their fur as they're trying to get away. And
they don't like it.
No, they're not. They're pack members, but they're not dogs. So you can't do that numbing thing where they grab right in here. They grab the fur in here and they love it. Cats don't love it. Cats freak out. And then they run, and then the younger dog runs faster after them, because it's like, oh, play is on. And the cats are like, anxieties through the roof, Anyway, that's what I had to say for this week. Look at Farley's just loving on you.
Oh yeah, he's getting scratched.
That's why. That's why. The digits. You're getting the digits.
He loves it. He loves the attention.
He said, can I play now? Maybe soon. I don't know. Is it still nice outside, Farley?
It's hot.
It's hot. He said, I don't know. You go. I think he meant me go outside. Cassidy, what's going on with you? You're worried. What are you worried about? Food? My food's not so great. Oh, what's up with your food? It's not correct. It's not correct. What needs to be done for it to be correct? Wet or white? White and wet. It needs to be white. White container. Is there a white container? Maybe
No,
leftovers? Your
clear.
is your lunchbox like, do you take a cooler to work that's white inside? No.
Nope, clear. I got clear containers. I do have one that's kind of white. It's kind of more, it's more like a beige than a white.
Cassidy, do you mean wet? Like moist? Or do you mean white? Wow. Why is she's showing me Corel, like something that's Corel or that you'd put tuna casserole in, that's white. There she's loving on you. That's Cassidy, everybody. The ginger up there, all the way from Oregon.
I don't know. I don't
Huh.
know what I don't know what she's showing you.
Did you see this at Patrick's house? No. What house did you see it at? The other house. Did she ever go to daycare?
Nope.
So it has to be the breeder's house. Or on your trip?
Well, like I said, she's got it. Maybe she thinks white. It's a light beige, real light beige. Maybe that's what she's thinking white. It's real light beige, and that's what I put her food goes into before I give it to her.
Ah,
It's like
okay.
it's her chicken. All her chicken goes in there, and that's kept refrigerated.
Okay. So
And
you need, oh,
I cut up a chicken.
okay. So when she was telling me it needs to be white, she was telling you that her food needs to be what's in that container.
Okay.
Okay. Which is her preference. Again, she's like, I'm worried. Well, what's going on with that container? It's too high for me to reach. It's too high. Okay. And I want some more. I don't
Ah,
like the other food. The other food's bad. It tastes bad.
yeah, cause see, she gets her dry food and her chicken mixed together, and that's
Oh,
what she doesn't like.
she wants it all chicken. She just said that. Something's wrong because it's not all chicken.
Yep, that's right.
And, and I'm worried because it's wrong. Oh, but okay. That is her way of relating to the world. I had a great aunt that did that, Aunt Dorothy. Always was like, oh. So Cassidy worries a lot. So there's nothing to worry about here. That's how she filters the world. My chicken, my food. I'm worried about it because there's not enough chicken. It's not right. Too much dry. But she's also the one that you can go on vacation without her. She'll stay there. You can take Farley. I remember that. She doesn't want to go on vacation with you again.
She doesn't want to go.
No, I remember that from months ago. She was like, no, I stay here. Go with Farley. And you were like, no, you have to come with. Because for those of you watching the first time, Cassidy and Patrick alone, before Farley came into the picture, took like a cross country, like how many states, the Grand Canyon was part of it, trip. And Cassidy's a big worrywart. So now she doesn't want to leave. She didn't like that. She doesn't want to leave the,
Was it because it was too long in the car?
Cassidy, remember the trip? Yeah, I hate that trip. So what made you hate it? I couldn't go pee enough. And there are all these new smells, and I was just so confused, and I didn't have my right food, and I just want to stay home.
Okay, well. There's another trip coming up.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
And she's
That-
going with?
Both of them are going with. So I was going to say, probably the next 2 weeks, we might not be able to tune in because we might be on the road.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you need to see, Patrick's got my text number. if she acts strange, text me and I'll talk with her, you
Okay.
know. Because I can tell her like how many darknesses before she's back to her own den and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, she thinks in terms of moons or darknesses. So if
Yeah.
it's gonna be 14
Yeah.
darknesses,
Okay.
yeah. And even the water is different in different regions. It has different, yeah. So it's hard. It can be hard on the animals.
Water is gonna taste different.
Well, and it has different things in it. So it can be like if you are camping or something like that, if you can take water from your region with you for the dogs.
Yeah, I plan on bringing a lot of water along.
Because it's just has different organisms in it from different regions. It doesn't just taste different, it affects the belly and the intestines differently.
Sure.
Not that they gain any diseases, it's just that it like hits different in their body. So they're already in a car, you know, being jiggled around, and then this different water hits their belly and their intestines, and it's not fun sometimes.
No.
Now Farley's Mr. Party Animal, so he's I think he's gonna do fine with any water.
Yeah, but I'm gonna bring a lot of water. It's getting dark. Does my video look really dark to you? I gotta open to get some light in here.
Yeah, you guys look dark. Oh, it's dark outside because I think the sun went down because it's September 1st.
Open
Yeah,
the door, some light in.
It's 7:30. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, puppies. Yeah, it's 7:30. It's getting dark. Everybody get home. Street lights are coming on.
Oh.
And if you can't drive after dark, you're stuck where you are now. It's dark behind me too. I looked over in the window and the sun it's orange now. It's down, it's just orange. So I don't know where I'll be next week. Who knows? And we don't know where you'll be either.
I'm gonna be in Montana.
No way. Oh, wow.
Yeah, way.
Do you have the cities mapped out?
I'm going to Glacier National Park.
What is that near?
Glacier National Park. It's northern Montana. It's not real far from the Canadian border. Maybe an hour or two from the Canadian border. I don't know exactly what city. Medora is a city there. I think it's called Medora.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, because the podcast that I was on the Unstuck Your What the Fuck is the name of the podcast, and I was interviewed for that. That is right above Montana, where that person is located, and a lot of her clients in her group. And there's I want to say state, but that's not the right word. Waterton is a park there on the Canadian. Yeah, it's on the Canadian and the US side. So I wonder, I haven't done any research. I don't know what it's called on the US side. And there's even in that park, like points that were, what do they call them? Zero darkness, where there's no light pollution. So I don't know what's on the US side. Yeah, you got to report back.
Yeah, we'll be able to see. We should be able to see the Milky Way.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Tons and tons of stars.
Wow. So Cassidy, have fun. She said, I won't. She's like, I won't.
I'm gonna make it fun. We'll make it fun.
Farley will make it fun. Okay, well, I'm signing off. I'm gonna stop recording. Bye, everybody.